What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Thursday, January 27th, and there are 3 football games left, assuming you don't count the Pro Bowl, which we don't. You can watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/pick6. Subscribe, rate, and review. This is the Conference Championship Bold Predictions episode. If you're listening on Spotify, leave a 5-star rating. They just added that. We would appreciate it if you listen to our podcast on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, reminder, we'll be live after the championship games on Sunday night. And we'll be live. We'll do a live emergency broadcast anytime a coach is hired. So if you want to be made aware of when we will go live with those, not only subscribe, but there's a little bell to the right of the subscribe button that will turn on alerts. It doesn't automatically do it, so you got to press both of them. If you press alerts, it will tell you when we go live and even give you like a 30-minute heads up when we go live following the actual games. And of course, we will be live after the Super Bowl and have tons of shows during the Super Bowl week. So make sure and subscribe to YouTube. Joining me to break down the conference championship from a bold prediction standpoint, the Super Friends, Ryan Wilson and John Breach. What's up, boys?
Hey, great news, Breach. I went to the dentist today. No cavities.
Fantastic.
I also have great news. Do you know who's playing on Sunday?
The Bengals!
But also no cavities is huge, you
I
know?
was going to say, is that better than my no cavities?
I'd say it's equal. I'll give you that.
All right, fair enough.
No Big Ben, no cavities.
No Big Ben, no cavities.
We probably need to, and the other thing too, like if Big Ben announces his official retirement, which I would guess that he'll do at whatever point garners the most public attention.
You know what's funny is that, and Ryan, how would you feel about this? Big Ben announces his retirement, and the next day Tom Brady announces his, just to totally, or like 2 hours later, not even the next day. That would be absolutely hilarious.
No, I'm fine with that. I don't even know if Big Ben's going to announce it officially. I feel like, you know,
he'll announce it officially.
He put that Raiders helmet on at the end of the week 18. It felt like he had to do it.
Wait, what?
He put on his Raiders helmet during the Raiders-Chargers game because he needed the Raiders they were going to win or whatever.
Right.
He had a friend who he didn't want to tie. And, of course, Breach posted that in our little private message just the other day, like he's going to go to the Raiders or something stupid. Joke's on you because we'll take Derek Carr. But anyway, I think he retired after that week 18 game where they beat the Ravens, and he had no conception of the Colts losing to the Jaguars that set out the wheels in motion for one more week of prolonged whoopings behind that line.
It's also possible we get Aaron Rodgers retiring. And so if any of those things happen, we'll go live with emergency.
Are you just making that up, or there have been gurglings of that?
Sean Payton could quit. Gronk could retire. We're going to have 25 emergency podcasts.
Like, what happens in the NFC South if Sean Payton and Tom Brady walk away from football? Or Tom Brady just goes and plays for another team?
What if Tom Brady's like waiting to see what Sean Payton does? Or
what if he's waiting to see what Aaron Rodgers does and goes to Green Bay? Or Rodgers is waiting to see what
Tom Brady would never play in cold weather.
He would not go to Green Bay,
That'll be the last place Tom Brady would go.
Yeah, I mean, let's since we're doing conference championship bowl predictions, let's banter about these QBs for a little bit, because I'm sure we'll get into it with Brady Quinn. Or I'm sure we got into it with Brady Quinn on yesterday's show. But like the other thing,
you don't know if you got into it with him or not. Terrible memory.
Yeah, I know. The other thing that Aaron Rodgers said in his post-game press conference is, and I got asked about this on radio with my buddy Darren Smith in San Diego.
I don't know if Darren Smith likes you that much, because he put up a picture from 10 years ago where you had that old school haircut and no beard. It makes you look incredibly different than you do now. Much less handsome than you are now. I'll just say that.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you think Brinson has aged well like fine wine?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, that's very complimentary.
Now compared to before. Like, who's an actor that got better looking at the old? Like Jeff Bridges probably is better looking now than he was when he was 25. Like the Big Lebowski, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say that I'm more.
You're not that handsome. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to think of a comparison in terms of people who've gotten better looking the older they got. Anyway, you were talking to Darren Smith,
and he was like, you heard this Rodgers thing about I don't want to be part of a rebuild. He's like, how did you take that? And my initial thought was like, honestly, I don't know. But then
he says a lot of things.
I know, but I had forgotten that. Do you know where the Packers stand? Did we talk about this? Where the Packers stand with their salary cap?
We did talk about it. 45 million over.
Yeah,
40 million over. And
so I think that's Rodgers saying, I don't want to be a part of rebuild. That's his way of saying, you guys have like 6 weeks to figure that out. And if you don't, I'm out. So get that under control.
Well, here's the problem. The three most obvious moves to get down to about $9 million over the salary cap, which is still not enough to deal with.
And by the way, I mentioned this on the podcast. 6 players on that team account for 55% of the cap.
Correct. Rodgers being one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
David Bakhtiari, you can't really cut. They wouldn't want to do that anyway. He didn't play very much this year at all because of injuries. But it's Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, and Randall Cobb are the 3 very obvious cuts. I think that cutting your two of your best pass rushers, and Preston Smith hadn't been as effective. He's probably getting cut no matter what. But Zadarius Smith has been very good throughout the duration of their free agent signing of him. If you cut him and you cut Randall Cobb, I sort of feel like that's going to not sit well with Aaron Rodgers. So if Rodgers is looking around going, man, we got to figure out how to fix this defense that already was kind of a problem anyway. And you're also getting rid of my best friend on the team, Randall Cobb. And then you have to decide, are we going to give Rashawn Gary an extension? What are we going to pay Jair Alexander? What are we going to do with Aaron Rodgers' contract? I don't think he wants to restructure. So there's just a lot of decision-making that has to happen for the Packers. And the problem is, like, how long does Aaron Rodgers wait around to figure it out? Because
last year he waited until September 1st.
Well, but I'm saying, so the Packers will have to be under the salary cap by the start of the.
And Matt LaFleur did say recently, today or yesterday or the day before, that there are mechanisms in place where we can figure this out. Basically, the sort of the sneaky math that folks do to make the salary cap work. So I don't know how much he can do given how poorly they've managed the cap thus far, but we'll see.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting. So, never mind. This podcast is coming out Thursday.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus. Right here, Brinson.
Anyway, I just think that the Rodgers thing, and there is, the last 2 years have been like, man, there's going to be crazy quarterback storylines this offseason, but we have the Rodgers stuff. We have the Tom Brady stuff. Tom Brady usually doesn't indulge this aggressively in retirement chatter.
What if he's indulging this aggressively just to placate his supermodel wife, Gisele Bundchen?
Very possible.
As I told Breach when you stepped away from the podcast last time, remember the Facebook documentary, Tom Brady, where they spent a lot of time. Where do they go? Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, wherever they.
Tom versus Time.
Tom versus Time. That's right.
And they had a lot of conversations about retirement, and he just sort of, said, "Okay, I'll retire," and then he didn't. And maybe he's like, "Okay, I'll say it publicly now, and I'll still come back." I get what he's saying, and you only have so many years with your kids as they grow up. I get all that.
Maybe he's milking it for another documentary.
Maybe he wants to get another document. Maybe he wants to help out his guy, Alex. What's Alex's last name?
Guerrero.
Yeah, maybe get him some sponsorship deals after AB took all his money. I don't know. I'm just not completely sold.
I did notice that like Tom Curran of NBC or CSN, whatever, NBC Media Group out of New England. Tom has always been pretty spot on with his Tom Brady predictions. Thinks Brady will not retire this year and that Brady does want to play because he would be the first ever like viable starting quarterback at 45, right?
I don't have to look back at those.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
No.
Or college football.
Well, I mean, like
the Mars Football
League. That's a
Breach.
shock that you're even asking this question. Yes, I mean it's not even close.
Immediately, my mind went to Vinny Testaverde, and I was like,
George Blanda was pretty old. Breach.
Yeah, he was not a productive quarterback at age 45.
He was a quarterback / kicker. How dare you?
Vinny Testaverde started 6 games at age 44.
Oh no, but Breach thinks you're a moron for even bringing it up. So
yeah, I mean he was with the Panthers in 2007.
Dare you,
George Blanda went 5 of 15 at age 45. 5 passes.
I'll put it to you this way:
passes.
Even though you can throw 45 yards, I don't think you can go 5 for 15.
I mean, I could throw 5 screen passes.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to note, if there's any sort of Aaron Rodgers and or Tom Brady to the Saints type situation, the Saints are the only team in the NFL with the worst cap situation than the Packers. They're like they're 70 million plus in the red. So if Sean Payton leaves, quarterback situation is in flux. You're waiting for Jameis to rehab his knee. You have the rest of the crew there, Taysom Hill, Ian Book. I don't that team could go from contender to, oh boy, they might not win 8 football games.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't really, like, Michael Thomas is a trade candidate, I guess. You can't really cut him. If you cut him, you only save $2 million in salary cap space.
And then they have no wide receivers beyond him in terms of guys with experience or big play guys.
Yeah. Can you cut Taysom Hill? You can't cut. I mean, this is a problem.
So maybe that's why Sean Payton wants to take a break, let him fix the cap, and he'll come back in 2023.
Come back to the freaking
Yeah.
Saints. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mickey Loomis is really good about figuring out the cap space. So I'm sure he'll be able to. I mean, he'll have to.
I mean, this is like Sean Payton saying, "Look, we've been kicking the can down the road on this cap thing for a decade now. We did it with Drew Brees' contract, and that's always been kind of a headache. Now we don't have a quarterback. We're gonna have to do some crazy stuff to get under the salary cap, and I don't want to be here for that. He's pulling the Aaron Rodgers like I don't want to be a part of a rebuild, so I'm gonna go do something else.
When it's like this team has been structured to go all in with Drew Brees, and then the year after Drew Brees leaves, they're like just trying to sort of make it work with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. They still won 9 games, but yeah, I mean, it's.
What about this bold prediction that doesn't have to do with the NFC or AFC championship? What if the Broncos traded their 9th overall pick to the Saints for Sean Payton, and then the Broncos go out and get Aaron Rodgers?
Good God.
Without the 9th, wouldn't that be? Wouldn't you need that to get Rodgers? Well, I mean,
No, if he forces a trade, you can, whatever. Don't mess up my idea, Breach.
I mean, I like the idea of Sean Payton being traded. I just don't think the Broncos.
Okay, well, here's the thing: you trade the 9th pick for Aaron Rodgers, and you trade next year's first round pick for Sean Payton.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
Or what you do is you call the Saints and say, "Hey, we'll take Sean Payton and some of your bloated contracts off your hands, and we'll slot him in there. Like send us Ryan Ramczyk and I guess if you trade him, you'd still have to deal with the dead cap space. But I mean,
so if it's Sean Payton and Aaron Rodgers, just for shiggles, as we like to say, in that division in the AFC West, how are you ranking the division as we sit here, like just top to bottom?
If they both leave,
if Aaron Rodgers and Sean Payton are on the Broncos,
if Rodgers came to New Orleans and Tom Brady stuck around,
no, Aaron Rodgers and Sean Payton end up in Denver. How does the AFC West stack up?
Like the AFC
That's
West.
the best team.
Oh, wait a second. You still have to take the Chiefs.
I'm putting the Chiefs at number 2.
What?
I mean, I want no. Chiefs have won.
Did you see
this? So, right?
The Broncos went 7-10 with Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater. You don't think Aaron Rodgers is worth 3-4 games? And if one of those games is a win over the Chiefs, you pick up a game.
My only concern is that when Aaron Rodgers pouts because they're losing, he mails it in. He didn't do that. I'm not saying he did that over the weekend, but he has one game a year where they're getting down.
It's Sean Payton's system, so I'm not worried about it. But you still have a new system, new quarterback,
I don't think you could take Denver first.
Yeah, I think you would take KC 1, Denver 2, and then LA and Oakland.
I think.
Well, let me ask you this, Wilson.
One day I'll remember they're in Las Vegas.
Wilson, if you could only have one, Aaron Rodgers or Sean Payton, who would you take?
If I'm which team?
If you're the Broncos.
I think
because Rodgers probably has 2 years left.
Yeah, I think
he takes Sean.
I think he takes Sean Payton.
You take Rodgers.
Ooh.
Here's the thing, though: those quarterbacks aren't leaving the AFC West anytime soon. And you have Aaron Rodgers for 2 years. You're not going to win a Super Bowl, and then you're stuck with the coach. You don't know who the coach is going to be, obviously.
I mean, I feel like Aaron Rodgers will attract a solid coaching candidate to.
Well, here are the candidates for hopefully they're not hired by the time this podcast comes out, but it was Dan Quinn, Nathaniel Hackett, and Kevin O'Connell were the 3 finalists according to various reports. So,
Nathaniel Hackett would, in theory, be the guy that tries to attract Aaron Rodgers to Green Bay.
But I mean, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers as opposed to those 3 guys just because I don't know anything about them. I mean, we know about Dan Quinn a little bit, but
would you rather have Sean Payton and Drew Lock or Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett?
Well, the latter.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you can't make chicken salad out of not that. Drew Lock's chicken poop, but he ate chicken.
I mean, I trust Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett to figure it out over Sean Payton and Drew Lockett.
Yeah,
Drew Lockett. It's Drew Lockett. What is wrong with me?
You're lost.
Tyler Lockett's brother.
Brenton's cut off.
All right, let's get to the divisional. Well, let's do a quick roundup of our divisional round bold predictions.
Oh yeah, I can't remember those. What are those?
Bengals Titans. Nobody hit. Breach had the Bengals winning by a touchdown.
Nah, that should get credit.
It could have happened though.
Could have, but
did happen.
Bengals did win. You should have.
Bengals won.
Oh, you know what? Did you initially say Bengals win from 1 to 6 points, and then you changed it to touchdown?
No, you guys talked me into being more bold. I said the Bengals pull off an upset. They were a 4.5-point underdog, and you guys didn't think that was big enough. So then I said,
no. That's not what happened.
And then I said they win by a touchdown, one score.
I think you initially came out with touchdown.
Yeah, you guys were just talking up the boldness, though. I'm not giving anyone credit unless the predictions are bold this week.
Wilson had Joe Mixon with more rushing yards than Derrick Henry. He nearly got it. Mixon had 54. Henry only had 60.
Yeah, he didn't run well, Mixon. I was sort of surprised. I thought he'd have a better that defense. The Tennessee front seven did a great job.
It was more Tennessee defense than anything else. I think if we weren't vengeful, if we were benevolent, we would give you credit for that because
No.
We would give us both credit.
No, not you. You're
I
not
was only
giving-
4 points off. You were 8 yards off. That's twice as much.
You're equating eight. You're equating points
I
to
don't
yards.
remember what my
Yes,
bold
I am.
prediction
I
was.
just did.
Yeah,
Brenton,
Breach
your
has it
bold
written down.
prediction, I think Debo just leaves it off so we don't embarrass ourselves. But your bold prediction was that T. Higgins would finish with 2 touchdown catches.
He had a couple drops.
And he had 7 catches for 96 yards. He had a huge game, so I don't think that was that bad of a prediction.
49ers Packers. We got a couple winners in the group.
How is Brenson's picks?
The amount of Rodgers touchdowns equals the amount that the Packers win by. How many touchdowns did he have, Breach?
0 touchdowns.
Unbelievable that
We
you
didn't-
backdoored it with that stupid
I didn't think it would work
loophole.
out that way, but I'll take it.
It is so unbelievable that you stole that with that
No,
loophole.
he is Kramer. Just falls
Oh
ass
my
backwards
God.
into money. Doesn't even know
Packers
it.
should have won, and Rodgers should have had 0 passing touchdowns, and they lose in some insane fashion, and Breach steals it. I had
telling
the
you.
49ers winning outright, which
What I have?
You had Elijah Mitchell has more rushing yards than the Packers running backs.
Oh, okay.
which was not accurate. Although Eli Mitchell had a pretty good game.
Well, I mean, actually, it was pretty close. He was only 13 yards off.
Oh yeah, that's true because AJ Jones got hurt.
Jones had the long catch, which felt like a run if you're trying to flash back. But they finished with 66, and Mitchell had 53.
Yeah, there you go.
And
that's actually certainly bolder than just picking the 49er. I can't believe you get a point for that. I'm out of this running. I'm angry. What? Okay, what we got?
Rams and Buccaneers.
Mine was incorrect. I messed up. We had
why
somebody threw a challenge flag. Somebody threw a challenge flag on my. So I predicted
a listener or a podcast person.
No, me, because I was going back and looking up my bold predictions to make for the championship games for this show, and I realized that I read off the wrong. So anyway, my prediction was that the highest total yardage in an NFC divisional game was 762, but that was the highest total passing yardage, not total yardage. And so that would have been fine as my prediction then. Then they set the passing yardage record, but they didn't. They fell short. They finished with 695.
Thank you for your honesty. Debo continues to mess up these bold predictions and
so they had 787 total yards, but only 695 passing yards.
Right.
What was the previous total yardage record?
931.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't give that to you.
Yeah,
I can't even give
They
you
didn't break either one. I said that the Rams would win and Stafford would have no picks.
Boom.
And that landed.
Again, the Rams thing doesn't feel bold. The Stafford picks, I'll give you that.
Well,
what did I have?
That's literally what happened. I said the Rams will win. You guys were, that's not bold enough. I said, all right, Stafford, no interceptions.
Okay.
Wilson, you said Odell Beckham would have more receiving yards than Mike Evans. And Mike Evans went off.
Okay, fair enough.
But that was like kind of not dead until
119 to 60.
Well, Evans' touchdown catch, right?
He had the 55-yarder. At that point, it was probably pretty close, I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, you were winning.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, right.
If Jalen knocks that ball down, you probably win that ball.
So I should be mad at Cam Akers and the person that snapped the ball over Matthew
Yes.
Stafford's head and all the turnovers.
Yes. You
right.
should actually make a list of everyone you're mad at because it's a long list.
All right. I don't hate
I mean, like, I know Kupp had a huge game and like the 70-yard catch to set up the game-winning field goal. But I mean, he had 9 catches, 183 yards, and a touchdown. What a monster he is.
Yeah, so even before that last catch, he still had over 100 receiving yards. So that's
And Odell, Odell has been a big factor for the Rams this postseason.
true that, without a doubt. He seems happier not playing with Baker Mayfield. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm at a total of 3 points for the full playoff so far. Bold prediction.
Is this the kind of 3?
Yeah, buddy. Breaches at 1.
And I'm at 2.9.
Yeah, Breach is higher than that.
You're not
Well, we didn't cover our Bills at Chiefs predictions.
Nobody got it.
Are you counting last week's points as well?
Well, hold on. I would like to note real quick that Wilson, who predicted 9 total touchdowns between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and it ended up being 8, so he was 1 off. And then I said Josh Allen's total touchdowns will be double Patrick Mahomes' passing touchdowns. And like Wilson's, I had it until the overtime touchdown pass to Travis Kelce.
Oh, wait. Well, Wilson didn't have it till.
No, he would have. Yeah,
I got
Wilson,
closer.
Yeah, he got closer. But mine was correct until the game-winning TD pass. And if you only count regulation, I got it.
Between that and
the regulation, the Bills are playing the Bengals this week. So I mean, that's
What was Brenson's? Chiefs-Bills bowl prediction.
Brinson was Devin Singletary rushes for 150 yards and 2
I tell you
touchdowns.
what, he ran well that game. I'll give you that.
He only had 10 carries for 26 yards, but he had 4 catches for 25 yards. He just looks like a more explosive athlete than
He started
has.
the first few drives. He was running the ball well. I'm surprised he finished with that low number. I
But
guess after that, into the shootout.
The game plan they tried to run would have worked for it. I mean,
But they also decided, hey, if we're going to run it, we're going to let Josh Allen run it.
yeah,
Right,
He was
that's
running all the
scrambles
time.
and then. By the way, Patrick Mahomes. We covered this in the picks pod, but Patrick Mahomes 80-1 to lead the divisional round in rushing yards. And he hit. I believe he also led the divisional round in passing yards, which is just wild.
I mean, I think it would have been bold to say that Patrick Mahomes has more rushing yards than Josh Allen.
For
And he
sure.
did.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been really bold to say he leads the divisional round in rushing yards.
I mean, that's insane. That's something Breach would do accidentally and get it right.
Yeah,
Like if Breach had hit on the
When we were doing the picks, I looked at Allen. I was like, man, Allen could work. And then it was like, Mahomes could work too, maybe. But yeah.
if Breach had won that Chiefs-Bills bowl prediction and that stupid Green Bay one, that would have meant that the Bengals are winning the Super Bowl because that's just too much.
That's right. All right, let's get to the AFC Championship bowl predictions. Oh, we're doing one for each team.
Oh, Debo.
Yeah, it's very nice of Debo to not tell us that in advance.
Yeah, I think he did tell us.
He probably did. Just kidding. Anyway, Breach, you want to kick us off with the Bengals bowl prediction?
Saturday at
My-
3 p.m. on CBS, Breach.
You know what? It's on Sunday at 3
Sunday
p.m.
at
So I
3
hope nobody
p.m.
at CBS is listening.
Sunday, 3 p.m.
be-
Eastern.
I'll be in Australia. That's what I meant.
By the way, a podcast listener, Debo didn't tell us who it was, but they had emailed Debo. I don't know why you're emailing Debo, but sure. To ask what would have happened if both the Chargers and the Rams were hosting their respective title games. Obviously, that was a long way from happening. Chargers didn't make the playoffs.
My
but-
guess was that both teams would play on the same field at the same time.
Right. You just have 4 teams playing at once.
Right.
And just see
That
what
would be
happens.
interesting.
The reality is it probably would have been Sunday and Monday, right? Breach, isn't that what we decided?
Yes. I mean, most likely because we've seen the Monday playoff game already. And the NFL actually talked about this in 2008 with the Giants and Jets and said it would have been Sunday and Monday. So I don't see why they would change that.
Yeah.
And plus, since it's a championship game, you have 2 weeks till the Super Bowl. So there's not a huge the rest advantage. The day you lose is not a big deal.
And I mean, you're talking about an absolute ratings bonanza because you go from, I would assume that they would move the CBS game at 3 p.m.
Oh, they both be at night, 6:30,
6:30,
Sunday,
and then
and
it would be CBS Monday Night Football involving, I guess it'd be like the Chargers and the Chiefs or something like that. Would be fun.
you
anyway.
mean Chargers and Bengals? Why does it have to be Chargers and
Bengals?
Chiefs?
I
Can it
don't
be the Bengals?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyway, your bold prediction. Well, what seed are the Bengals? Are they the 4 seed or the 3 seed?
They're the 4 seed,
Okay.
and they're playing the 2 seed.
In my hypothetical here, the Chargers were the 4 seed and the Chiefs were a wild card. But anyway, because the Bengals would host as the 3 seed. But I see your point. Anywho, continue on with your bold prediction.
So my bold prediction. I mean, we all know half of it, and that is that the Bengals win this game, and that should be enough of a bold prediction because they are a 7
No, it's
point
not. They won.
underdog.
I don't care about that. They beat them previously. That's
7
not bold.
point underdog.
You're not
all right?
getting. I will give you 0.25 points for that. Then, if we're doing.
And I'm going to add on to it that during
Okay.
this game, Joe Burrow
there we go.
breaks the AFC title game record for most passing yards.
Mm.
The
Which
record
is
has stood, and I researched this one. I didn't botch this one. This record has stood since 1984. Dan Marino, and it's
Oh, yeah.
421 yards.
okay. Well, you're not winning that one, so that's fair enough.
I mean,
you might win it.
if we're being honest, you probably should have just gone with
The
Joe
424.
Burrow breaks the record because you
Right.
could break the record in a losing effort.
Well, then I'm making 2 bold predictions.
You can't. It's
And I
either
get
You get one Bengals.
half a point.
no.
No, it's a combo.
I want 2 bold predictions.
No, you get one Bengals bold
Look at
prediction.
this guy. He gets a little.
And I agree that Bengals winning the game
I feel
outright.
like if your team is in the title game, you should be entitled to 1 extra bold prediction.
No.
If
What
the
are you-
Steelers are in it next year, Wilson, you can make 2 bold predictions. I'll write that down.
I mean, what are we doing? This is what you're bargaining for. Breach just put this in his contract. I don't want a pay raise. I want 2 bold predictions for the Bengals in this playoffs.
And by the way, as Breach noted, the Chiefs are 7-point favorites. The total of this game opened at 53.5 and has already climbed up to, I believe, 54.5. It's moving up pretty steadily. It would be pretty shocking if there weren't a ton of points in this game.
As Nada points out, our producer, because Debo's doing other things. Breach can make 2 bold predictions, but if he gets them wrong, it's -2 points.
I like that, Nada. That's a good call.
No comment from Breach.
You get if you get them both, you get. Wait, so he gets a half for each. No.
Yeah, what? What are you smoking?
4. What is the multiplier?
4 points. It's a multiplier. It's a 2-pick multiplier. Have you ever played Powerball? You got to get the multiplier number to win the Powerball.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll give you this. You can have a half a point for each one you get right, but you lose a point for each one you get wrong.
No, that's not fair. That's horrible.
All
right, here's the thing. If you get them all right, you can get 4 points. If you don't get them right, then you're out of the competition.
I don't get to make any Super Bowl bold predictions.
No.
Well, you know what? If I get them wrong, that means the Bengals lost. I don't want to make Super Bowl bold predictions anyway.
He's literally just predicting the same outcome from the freaking. What was Dan Marino's record?
420. What was it?
Right, it's just Burrow threw for 446, and the Bengals won the last time these teams played. There's a decent chance that the Chiefs are up 21.
Okay, well, if it was that simple, how come Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown for 421 yards in any of the 3 past AFC title games?
Probably because the Chiefs are winning.
They went to overtime and lost in one of them, and he still didn't hit 421.
They didn't go to overtime and lose last.
It's not a dunk. They were winning.
They lost in overtime. He got an extra quarter to hit it.
He didn't get the ball in overtime. That was the whole point.
He got an extra quarter.
No, he didn't. He didn't touch the ball. Remember that was.
He had 4 full quarters.
We're talking about against the Bills. Oh yeah. Well, no, that was divisional round. What are we talking about? All right, Wilson. This is ridiculous.
I know. I've tuned you guys out as I think about my bowl prediction.
I'm like checking golf scores.
All right.
Oh my God.
Breach, I'm going to go with one of these two. That the Bengals have a special teams touchdown. Is that bold?
I'm glad you have 2, first of all. And yes, that's bold. See, everyone brought 2 to the table.
No, I'm not. I'm going to choose one. I'm not going to go with both of them.
Oh, you should go with both.
So either the Bengals score a special teams touchdown, which is Breachianly generic, or Joe Burrow. Is Joe Burrow having 2 turnovers? Is that bold enough?
No, you led the NFL in interceptions. That's not bold.
All right. 3 turnovers for Joe Burrow? That feels pretty bold.
That's bolder.
So I know what you would prefer.
I think a special teams touchdown is more bold than 3 turnovers.
Yeah, but at least less likely to happen. I need to make up ground here. So what is more likely to happen, Brinson? 3 Joe Burrow turnovers or a special teams touchdown for the Bengals?
I think a special teams touchdown for the Bengals is bolder.
What is more likely to happen? I need to.
Burrow had 3 turnovers in 2 games this year.
I think Burrow 3 turnovers is more likely to happen just because this is a terrible offensive line that gave up a bunch of sacks. Melvin Ingram is wrecking havoc.
All right, I'm going to go with the special teams touchdown.
I don't think the Bengals had a special teams touchdown this year. I think
because that's block punt. That's kick return, punt return.
Right. We know what special teams are.
Well, I want to make it clear. Write that down, Breach, so we have it because you'll try to rewrite history. So that's what I'm going to go. Bengals special teams touchdown.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not going to cash, but whatever.
It's going to cash.
Bengals special teams touchdown. I love it. Okay, my bold prediction, and I'm going to need your research assistance with this, Breach, because I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure that I'm correct. Jamar Chase, who already set the rookie record.
Can't wait to hear this.
Most receiving yards in a game, will break the single game AFC Championship record for most receiving yards in a game, which I believe is held by Cliff Branch. Is that correct?
You guys chat and I will consult the record book.
What number do you have, Brent?
I have 186 for Cliff Branch.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
1974.
I don't want to be like 74 yards or something.
Well, so Wilson, you guys are.
No, this is not the single rookie either. This is the single all-time record.
Yeah. Well, right, but both you guys, one of you bashed my prediction because Burrow already threw for 446 against the Chiefs, and Brinson's making the same prediction of something Jamar Chase already did against the Chiefs.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's to Wilson, who just called your prediction good, even though he bashed me for doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you for correcting me, Bridge.
He said it would qualify as a bold prediction.
The AFC title game record officially goes. So that is the AFC.
Is this merger? An AFL Bolitnikov situation?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was in the Super Bowl era, so it counts.
What does Fred have?
Bolitnikov 1968 had 190.
So it only adds 4 yards.
Yeah. I mean, basically, he's got to go for 200 receiving yards.
Here's the thing. It's bold because if Steve Spagnuolo doesn't cover Jamar Chase again, then you deserve to win it. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Breach, are you okay with it?
How concerned are you?
I think if you break an AFC title game record, whether it's the passing one or the receiving one, if it stood for more than 20 years, it's a bold prediction because Tom Brady has played in how many championship games? You know, there's been some great Peyton Manning, and none of these quarterbacks have been able to break that record. So if Joe Burrow comes in and does it on his first game, and if Jamar Chase breaks a record that was set 1968, those are bold. That's bold.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's my take.
Okay. Did Cooper Kupp? Oh, no, that's right. Steve. Oh, man. The NFC divisional record for receiving yards is insane.
Was it like 220?
Anthony Carter in 1988 for the Vikings had 227. Steve Smith in 2006 against the Bears had 218. Tom Fears technically in 1950 had 198. I don't know if that qualifies. And then Irvin 192. Oh, no, sorry, divisional. That was an NFC championship game for Irvin. Randy Moss had 188. Cooper Kupp 183 this year, so he's like fourth. All of a sudden, what is your concern level for these predictions we're making with the Bengals offense, given what we saw from the Bengals offensive line against the Titans breach?
Well, you know what's funny is that I don't know. Watching them play against the Titans, that's the highest level. Joe Burrow got beat up. That is the worst you can get beat up in a playoff game. He took the most sacks in playoff history, tied for the most sacks, and he still threw for 348 yards, and they still won. And the Chiefs' defensive line isn't as good as the Titans' defensive line.
They sacked him 4 times back in Week 17,
and he still threw for 446 yards.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase still. And I think that was the best the Chiefs like. They harassed Joe Burrow in that game, the Chiefs did, and they still got diced up. So, like, I don't even know. My concern level is that the Chiefs will come out with some super offensive game plan and put up 55 points. I'm not concerned about Burrow and the Bengals offense being able to put up points.
Yeah, this total is doing nothing but climbing 54.5.
And it's only going to jump now. I just said that.
What's that?
I said now it's only going to jump because as a Bengals fan, my concern is the Chiefs just scoring on every single possession. And the final score is going to be like 55-48.
It's trending right now like it's going to be not too windy, 9 miles an hour, pretty standard about that.
Oh, it's great weather for if you're the Bengals and you're getting 45 degree or whatever it is weather in January in Kansas City. That's unbelievable.
It's a pretty big win, I think.
Is it? I mean, yeah, absolutely. And it was 27 degrees. It was 27 in Nashville. So 45.
I don't see how this game doesn't end in a shootout.
That's what it feels like.
How does this game not end in a shootout?
Feels like a shootout.
You guys keep talking. I want to do my Chiefs over because you're going to talk. It's going to sound less bold the more you guys keep talking about the.
All right. Well, Breach. I mean, Wilson,
Mahomes 9 touchdown passes.
Give us your
what's the over under in the game?
54.5 for the third time.
You say 54.5 and a hook? I'm just kidding. I'm going to go over 74.5. This game hits.
Over 74.5?
Yeah.
That is bold. I'll give you that.
Oh, good. Okay. So that's 37 to 38, something like that.
I think like 41-34 is a completely in play final score, I think. And that would be 75.
Yeah. There you go.
So, let's see if we can do.
Write that down, Breach.
Written
74.5.
Got it.
All right, here's on Caesars. You can actually do the odds for alternate totals.
Okay, what do you got?
68.5 is as high as we can go. 68.5 would be 4.5 to 1 plus 4.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, I don't know. I'd like a little bit more than that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Plus 450. Like if you bet 100, you would win 450, which is not bad.
But that's just 68.5. So if you could ostensibly bet higher, it would be a greater number.
So 61.5.
I was going to say 70 until you guys kept talking. But
61.5 is 2 plus 225, and then 68.5 is plus 450. So ostensibly, you're talking about a 7 to 1, maybe 10 to 1, just because it's an insanely high number.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that qualifies as bold for sure. That would be fun. We would get very good ratings. What is the sort of the game script? I mean, is it like just everybody bombs away, or is it because remember
no defense?
Week 17, it was Chiefs 14-0, and then Burrow hits Chase for that long bomb. The the Chiefs answer on another pretty lengthy drive.
I think it's like last week's game, the Bills game. I think it's just like two great quarterbacks, and you can't stop them no matter what. And the game's over when the final whistle blows. By the way, quickly, just about the overtime thing that people keep whinging about, that we can change, it's fine, but it wasn't unfair, number one. But how is this any more fair? Each team gets the ball.
If they score a touchdown, the Chiefs get the ball too.
So, right. So let's say the Chiefs score a touchdown and the Bills come back and score a touchdown and the Chiefs score a field goal to win it. How's that any more fair? I mean, it doesn't matter. They still got one more possession than the other team got.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would feel if you're a Bills fan, you would, let's say the Chiefs stop you, which is pretty unlikely given how the game had played out. But let's say they do, you at least feel like you got an opportunity to secure it and then to stop the Chiefs from kicking the field goal. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like you did in that very first drive when they marched down the field.
I think it's just more why does an ambiguous thing like a coin toss determine who gets the first advantage to winning the game.
I get it.
I think it's the same thing as I don't recall losing an argument to Sean McBleeperson over this, but it's like in 2018 and in 2021, Mahomes and Josh Allen respectively had played incredible games and didn't get to touch the ball because of a coin toss. Adam Shine, I saw it pointed out, what you do is it was like basically like when the original coin toss happens, if you defer to the second half, you also get a selection. You also get the selection in a hypothetical overtime, which is really interesting because there's strategy down the stretch.
I thought, Breach, you said someone tweeted at you about.
No, I mean, why should you like the coin toss? I was going to say the team that didn't get to decide the first time should get to decide. Like, why should you get double rewarded for winning a first quarter coin toss? The one that the person sent in to me said that in the playoffs, the home team should get the ball first as a part of home field advantage in overtime. And that way both coaches can coach late in the game, knowing, because in that Bills Chiefs game, Sean McDermott would know the Chiefs are getting the ball first and he could plan according, maybe you go for two. So the field goal doesn't beat you.
Instead of going up 3, although I think with 13 seconds, you'd
probably still kick the extra point,
right.
but if there's 25 seconds left, maybe you go for 2 so the field goal doesn't beat you.
Right.
Because the Chiefs get the ball first. And since, there's not the number 1 seed is the only team that really gets a good home field advantage now because they get the bye. So that gives at least a small perk for any team that does have the home field in the later rounds.
If you win your division, that if you go to overtime, you're going to have the advantage. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, like, it's home field advantage. You should.
And that was sent to me from someone on Twitter. That was my idea, and I loved it. It rewards home field advantage, and I don't see how anyone could argue with that.
I agree with that.
Breach, you won the ball first, get home field advantage.
Do you have a bold prediction for the Chiefs?
My bold prediction for the Chiefs goes along with the lines of Ryan's. I'm not copying off of him, but it is that the Kansas City Chiefs give up the most points they've given up all season.
This guy's going all in on the Bengals, baby.
Their previous high was 38, so the Bengals would have to score 39 or more.
That is bold.
Bengals score 39 or more points.
That is bold.
Game.
And the odds in Vegas right now, the Bengals over on 35.5, because that's as high as it goes, is plus 600, 6-1.
You bet that?
So less bold than Wilson's, but also could work with.
No, we don't know that it's less bold.
Yeah, it's less bold.
Are you, by the odds, it says, I think mine's more bold.
How's that? The Chiefs also have to score a ton of points, unless, I mean, I guess that the Bengals could score 75 points by themselves, but.
If the Bengals score 39, then the Chiefs only have to score 36.
If the Bengals score 39, you're getting that 74.5.
The over's happening.
Yeah. Yes. The regular over is happening of 54.5 if the Bengals get 39. Now that would be really, really bold. The Bengals score 39 or more and the under hits.
I was going to say what
stifling of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense.
I think the boldest thing you could say about the point score, like the Bengals shut out the Chiefs, like that would be the boldest thing you could possibly, like that should be 10,000 to 1.
The thing is that teams that have been good against the Chiefs defense this season have been good if they've played them twice. So like of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 8 games where they gave up the most points, 2 of them were against the Chargers and 2 of them were against the Bills. So just offenses they struggled against once, they struggled against twice. So I think they are going to struggle to slow down the Bengals.
All right. I will say that my bold prediction is that Jerick McKinnon has 150 total yards.
Oh, total good. I was gonna say he's never getting 150 rushing yards. That's
No, no.
fine. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely bold.
Yeah, I think that
He had 80, 78.
I think they're just the logic here is that this game turns into a shootout, and McKinnon is the guy who's catching those short passes. Maybe the Bengals can get some pressure on Mahomes. They're trying to play that cover 2 shell, forcing him to dink and dunk underneath, and McKinnon goes for 150 total yards. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, NFC bold predictions. NFC Championship, 49ers at the Rams. Rams minus 3.5. The total in this game would be something that you think I would know offhand, and I somehow don't.
It's not 54.5, I'll tell you that.
It's not. It is 46.5, much lower. The 49ers plus 3.5 minus 120. Let's get into our bold predictions. Breach, you can start us with a 49ers bold prediction.
My 49ers bold prediction. Ryan predicted that the Bengals would score a special teams TD. My prediction is that the 49ers score a defensive touchdown and win the game.
Oh, and win. How about that?
Does that count as is this a defensive / special teams touchdown or defensive?
No,
touchdown?
he didn't say that.
Defensive.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
Defensive only.
Defensive touchdown
and win the game. That's one bold prediction. You don't get 2 points for that.
Do you think that is going to come via a Matthew Stafford interception, or is this coming via a Cam Newton fumble?
I mean, we saw him fumble 4 times against the Buccaneers. Who knows? Could be a fumble return for a touchdown. Could be a pick 6. Stafford has thrown the 4th most in NFL history. Who knows?
I'm really struggling with both of these games in terms of how I want to pick them, because my heart leans one way and my head leans in. And in fact, in this 49ers Rams game, the history of McVay and Shanahan makes it really hard to pick against the 49ers. And yet you have to think back to the last game. The Rams were up 17-0 at half, and it looked like the 49ers were toast. And Shanahan completely, this is the first time ever Sean McVay's lost after leading at halftime. So
it's actually 2 out of the last 3 weeks the Rams have done that, because they almost lost last.
Yeah. What's your bold prediction here, Wilson?
Deebo Samuel's, I think he has a cracked rib, so that I can't do the Deebo Samuel leads the world in rushing because I'm concerned about his health.
I think Kyle Shanahan said he's expected to play.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, just one hit, you never know. You don't want to bank on him
to
do a bunch if he's not 100%. Oh boy, this is crazy. This is crazy town. I'm gonna go see if you guys will give me this. Elijah Mitchell, Kyle Juszczyk, and Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if that's going to work.
All score touchdowns
combined to have more touchdowns than the Rams skill position players.
Oh yeah, sure.
Elijah Eli Mitchell, who and what?
Juszczyk and Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, sure.
So they don't all have to score, but they combine to have more touchdowns.
They could have one, and the Rams and the 49ers win 7-0.
And then the Rams skill position players. So no defensive touchdowns for the Rams. I'm talking about like
let's say the 49ers win 14-7.
Right.
Cooper Kupp has a touchdown, but you're taking the
Elijah Mitchell
back, the second wide receiver, and the fullback against Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee,
and whoever else, Matthew Stafford, anybody. Yeah, but they at least one of those people have to score. Obviously, they can't be like a breachy and you get a 0 and you get a win somehow.
So no, you don't want to take a push, is what you're saying.
I know. I think a push is a push, but I mean, you don't
get any points for a push, though.
I'm out of this thing. I'm just trying to come up with something bold. So you writing that down, Breach?
Bold.
Mitchell Juszczyk.
That's absolutely bold.
Ayuk outscored the skill position players of the.
That
all right,
absolutely qualifies as a bold one. I will say that. I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. I will say that I don't know if you guys will give me this one. Because it happened in week 18. Let's say that Tyler Higbee has more receiving yards and touchdowns than George Kittle.
Touchdowns and receiving yards?
He beats George Kittle in both statistics.
Just in the week 18 matchup?
No. That's my bold prediction, that Tyler Higbee is a more productive
No, I got you.
receiver than George Kittle.
He's saying it might not be qualified as bold because it did happen in week 18.
Right, yeah.
But it's not like Tyler Higbee's a high usage guy here.
My problem, of course, is Jimmy Garoppolo, not George Kittle, and how he fits into the equation. Breach, what's your ruling on this?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, it qualifies as somewhat bold. It's not the boldest, but it's
That's
not
the thing.
bold.
Actually, I guess that would technically be a Rams bowl prediction.
Yeah. It would.
You get minus points for that then. I suppose you could say George Kittle, just do the reverse if you want to do the bowl predictions that George Kittle doesn't do as well as Tyler Higbee for the 49ers.
All right. Actually, this is a bold prediction. Jimmy Garoppolo does not throw an interception in this game.
Did he throw one?
Oh, yeah. He threw 2 against him last time.
No. Did he throw one against the
He throws one every game.
the Packers?
He throws one every week.
What was the Packers interception?
He definitely threw one.
I think he did. I can't remember what it was.
The last time he didn't throw an interception was week 15.
No interceptions for Garoppolo. No interceptions or no turnovers?
I'll go no turnovers. That's fair.
Oh, boy. Now that's bold.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't turn the ball over.
Let me introduce you to a guy named Von Miller.
Yeah. Von Miller, Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey. I mean,
There
Jimmy
were
Garoppolo is currently
six
on
games this season when he did not turn the ball over.
In those 6 games, he did not play.
and he has 10 games. Is that 10 games where he did throw an interception, right?
Well, he didn't start 2 games because Trey Lance, I think, had 2 starts. So
yeah, 10 games where he threw.
The 49ers are 7-0 when he doesn't throw an interception.
And by the way, yes, in all but one of those games where he didn't throw a pick, when he didn't throw a pick, the 49ers won by double digits. So in other words, like if you believe it would be I think that's pretty bold that he won't, because this is expected to be a close game with 2 division rivals. If Jimmy doesn't throw a pick, like if they hang Jimmy over half an interception again, I'm smashing that, despite my bold prediction.
all right, well, here's my bold prediction for the Rams when we do this before Breach steals it. And you won't take this one because this will just make you angry. Matthew Stafford has twice as many interceptions as Jimmy Garoppolo.
What? That's bold.
Wow, that's bold.
So I just need 1 and 2, and the Breachian 0-0 hits as well. Because 0 times 2 is 2. So that still works.
0 and 0 doesn't work.
Twice as many as 0.
That's equal. But 0 and 0 are
That is
equal.
Breachian. No. That's it.
No, that's not the same. It's not the same math.
2 times 0 is what?
0 and 0 are equal. That's all that matters.
If you can steal it,
We'll let the listeners decide.
if you can steal it with Rodgers has 0 passing touchdowns.
That
and the
is a
Packers
fair.
lose,
That's actual math, though. The Packers had a 0 margin of victory, and Rodgers threw 0 touchdowns because that's it.
and he said 2 times. 0 times 2.
No, right, and 0 is not 2 times more
0
than
equals
0.
0. I know. I made my own point for you, Breach. That's fine. Whatever.
Thank
I'm going to twice as many. So I need 2 and 1. That's what I need.
Can't believe we're
Right.
arguing math on this podcast.
Breach, what's your Rams bold prediction?
My Rams bowl prediction is that Matthew Stafford breaks the NFC title game for record for most completions.
Oh,
What complete?
what is-
I'll run
there's
over these.
there's something here.
Record's 33. The most completions he had in a game this year was 31. So he'd never hit the number.
Who has 33?
Aaron Rodgers.
Surprised it's not Brady.
33.
Wait, hadn't Aaron Rodgers? I guess Aaron Rodgers been to like.
He's not
NFC
gonna-
title game. So Brady only had 1.
I would. At my bold,
Right. What am I? Yeah, just NFC.
I mean, the bold prediction might be, well, they struggle against 49ers. So he doesn't even throw the ball 33 times. That feels.
Unless they fall behind.
Well, that's why I was saying they struggle against the 49ers because, the 2 weeks ago, the Rams ran the ball, and I think Stafford had, 17 attempts?
Yeah, but it would be pretty.
That's why it's bold.
I think it'd be pretty shocking if this was just an absolute dog walk, right?
What's a dog walk mean?
Like the Rams just beat the
Boat
49ers.
race.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can never say boat race because I always forget what it's called. And then
You say
defocus.
motorboating or something like that. The Rams and the 49ers and I guess this is just through.
Wait, Brinson, what was your 49ers prediction? Or do we make your Higbee one the Rams prediction? What do we do there?
I guess I could go Higbee here instead.
So wait, is your Higbee over Kittle? Is that your 49ers prediction?
No, that my 49ers prediction is Jimmy G no picks.
Okay.
Right. No
So-
turnovers. No turnovers.
No turnover, excuse me. Yeah, thanks. If you go and look at DVOA, these two teams for the regular season were 5th and 6th, respectively. The Rams 5th, 49ers 6th. If you add in regular season and the playoffs, which the Football Outsiders does, the Rams have moved up to 3rd, 7th on offense, 4th on defense. San Francisco 9th have fallen down to 9th on offense, 5th on defense, and weighted DVOA 3rd and 5th. So, I mean, still, really good matchup between two good teams. By the way, Buffalo finishes the number 1 team. KC actually below Tampa Bay and slightly above San Francisco. So good God, where are the Bengals? Oh boy.
In DVOA. The Bengals don't
Including
do
the
DVOA.
playoffs.
They don't care. They get sacked all the
Bengals
time.
are
They're probably low.
Bengals are 19th. Like there's a clear delineation between the top 3 teams and then the other guys. The Cowboys 2nd in DVOA. Including
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
hate to see it. My bold prediction is that Matthew Stafford.
We're all going Stafford.
Throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And
Good
the Rams win by double digits.
You're just piling up the bold prediction. If you hit on that one, you win the whole thing. I'll give you the trophy for the bold predictions playoffs.
And if Stafford hits on that, that would break the NFC Championship game record for most passing yards.
Which is?
No quarterback has ever hit 400 yards in an NFC title game. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. Who's
That's
the
pretty crazy?
Who do you think has the record? It's happened in the last 20 years, since 2000.
Since 2000 NFC title game. It's not like Jake Delhomme, is it?
It is not Jake Delhomme.
I was just thinking back to that number. Is it Dante Culpepper? No, because they got. It's probably not Rodgers because he doesn't really have the huge number per se.
Ryan, do you have any guesses?
Drew Brees.
Is not Drew Brees.
Oh.
Tell me again. I was reading something.
Ryan, do you have any guesses?
No, you have to give me the.
It's Matt Ryan.
You picked up on it.
Ryan's like, what is Ryan doing? He's like, Ryan.
What is he talking about?
The most passing yards by a quarterback in an NFC title game is Matt Ryan, 396. Matt Ryan actually has the top 2.
Wow.
The first one was against the 49ers in 2012.
When Kaepernick beat the.
And then the second one was where the Falcons blew like a 20-0 halftime lead or something. That was their big blown lead before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then the other one was against the Packers in 2016 when they won and went to the Super Bowl through for 392.
And they were home then, right? Were they in Green Bay?
They were at home.
Yeah.
And I think every quarterback on the top 4 quarterbacks, usually you throw for a lot. You don't win all the time because you're forced to pass.
You're chasing. Yeah.
But the top 4 performances in NFC title game history no, they didn't all win because Matt Ryan lost to San Francisco. What am I talking about? Nope. But Matt Ryan beat Green Bay. Okay, whatever.
All right. So Matthew, all right, I think if Matthew Stafford throws for 400 passing yards, that the Rams are probably winning. Although I guess with McVay, technically, I honestly have no idea where to go with this game. I love Stafford and I have the 49ers.
Here's a quick stat from David Lombardi of The Athletic. If you break it down like this, because obviously the 49ers have won 6 in a row. If you will just look at the fact that this year's games, they played 9 quarters against each other.
San Francisco dominated 7 of them, didn't it?
7 of them outscored the Rams 55-17, outgained them 701 to 342, and had a higher yards per play 6.2 to 4.0 in 7 of 9 quarters. That's a pretty extensive. And the 2 quarters the Rams won, one of them was 14-0. The other one was only 3-0. It was pretty easy. Like the first quarter, pretty even. So they really only dominated 1 quarter out of those 9.
I would say the one thing about those matchups that I'm trying to remember what week they played the first time. I guess it was probably 9. It's either week 9 or 10 because the 49ers were 3-5 at that point in time. They probably had their bye. So it's probably week 10, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's 3-5.
Yep. And that was that Monday night game in San Francisco. They beat the pants off of them. That was a really, really desperate 49ers team. And the Rams were coming off of, I want to say, a game where they lost to the Titans and they had beaten the Bucks and then immediately lost to the Titans on Sunday night. Everybody was kind of shocked by it because the Titans had lost Derrick Henry. And then they went to San Francisco on Monday night and just got absolutely paddled. It was 14-7, 21-7, 24-7, 31-7 before they kicked a late meaningless field goal. Stafford was awful, 26 of 41, 243, a touchdown and 2 picks. Jimmy G didn't have to do much. I think my belief is that the Matthew Stafford we've seen in the playoffs is people are having a hard time catching up to it, that he is actually good in the playoffs because of the preconceived notion coming into this postseason based on his time with the Lions where he didn't win a playoff game. But this is a very, very, very different Rams team than what we saw. Now, you could throw that in my face and point out in that week 18, they had a 17-0 lead and gagged it up and lost 27-24. And, Stafford had those 2 picks in the second half, not very good. But I just don't think the 49ers secondary can cover these Rams receivers. If Sean McVay is aggressive in the pass game like he was against Tampa Bay, instead of trying to pound it with Cam Akers, then I think that you could force the 49ers to play catch up. And if you do that, you're asking Jimmy G to go win the game for you like he did in week 18. It's just a little harder to do. Wouldn't we agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stafford faced a lot of pressure against the 49ers. He threw 2 interceptions in both games, got sacked multiple times in both games, 5 times in one of the games, 2 times in the other game, threw a pick 6 in one of the games. I mean, he's been a disaster against the 49ers.
Nick Bosa is a beast, man. I mean, the 49ers, Eric Armstead's a monster. That's where it's going to be won or lost here. Is like, what is the status of, Trent Williams? What is the status of, how am I blanking on the left tackle for the Andrew Whitworth? What is the health of these guys on the line? Because I think that's what it boils down to for the run games and the pass games. And how does Sean McVay coach the second half? Because, if he's the guy who likes to run the ball 3 times with a lead, then the 49ers will have an opportunity to come back. If not, I think the Rams can pull it off. I do think that the indoor conditions at SoFi Stadium favor them, although that, of course, was week 18, and we saw all the 49ers fans come in there and make it loud. We'll see. Okay. Anything else before we get out of here?
No. Let's go Wilson on the bowl predictions because I got to turn this thing around.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button. Hit the alert button too. Subscribe and alerts if you want to be notified when we go live for emergency podcast. There'll be tons of them. The 8 coaching hires still to happen, as well, of course, as a recap of Conference Championship Sunday.
There's an emergency podcast in the feed. Sean Payton.
There's an emergency podcast in the feed, so go check it out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.